This is a close game. We're in the live chat. We're in the show, in the vibe right now as the Chiefs are marching down the field in OT. Hopkins looks unbelievable. He doesn't just look like he's in the right place at the right time. He's making a lot of this happen. Him and Mahomes have a special connection. Dare I say there's some a little bit of resemblance to like Randy Moss having a revitalization in New England when everybody thought maybe he was done. Not saying we're getting a 17, 18, 19, 20 touchdown, pace type of player from here on out, but we're talking about Hopkins looking like a wide receiver 1 in fantasy. And on that note, I have right in front of your faces a top 12 wide receiver go forward poll. Here's the link to the poll. Vote. You have the results right here. I've got my vote already casted. Let's see how many of you file into this poll right here. We're watching this game. Fake handoff. Mahomes just knifing up the defense. Mahomes is back. 3 touchdowns, threading the needle. Absolutely looking like the Mahomes of old. Just needed a weapon. Worthy's nowhere to be found. We'll talk about that. Don't worry. Worthy is non-existent. I don't care about that right now. I care about Mahomes looking like Mahomes. I care about Hopkins looking like a wide receiver 1 potentially, even at the low end. Fine. You don't want to give him 7, 8, 9. Give him 12. Give him 12, 11, 13, 14. First down at the 11. Handoff to Hunt. Gets about 2 or 3 yards. Chiefs score. They win. It's OT. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Okay, so 5 minutes and 6 seconds and counting. Clock is running. Mahomes glancing around. He's in shotgun formation. Timeout. Mahomes standing at the 10-yard line. Line of scrimmage is closer than that. Mahomes was standing on the 10-yard line. This guy got injured. Looked like he was going to be out for the season. It looked that bad at first. He barely could walk. It was similar to the Montgomery situation. Needed help to get off the field. A few minutes later, the adrenaline kicked in. And I don't know if he'll have some sort of ankle, situation all week long. I imagine there'll be some sort of, he's resting. He's questionable, limited in practice, but not going to be held out of games. He looks completely, normal. He's running around, scrambling. But what an unbelievable game right here. What an unbelievable situation right here for anybody that has DeAndre Hopkins. Right now, we have, how many votes do we have on this poll? Let me scroll this down a tad and see if we can, I think we have 9 votes. Oh, yeah, we have got 9. It says the votes right there. Kelsey. Oh, come on. Down to about the 2-yard line. Almost a first down. Not a first down. I wonder if they run Kareem Hunt in, though. That was a Kelsey touchdown. That was a Mahomes 4th touchdown. Didn't make it in. Vote. Here's the link to the poll right now. The poll at hand. We've got, how many people we got in here? Only 160 people in here. What in the hell are we doing here? I think everybody's watching this game. They'll come filing on in after this conclusion. There's the poll right there. Vote, vote, vote. That is the poll right there. Vote, vote, vote. We've got 11 votes in favor of Hopkins. Hunt, touchdown. Game-winning touchdown. Man, Mahomes almost had a 4th touchdown. That's so frustrating. Damn Kelsey. Damn, Kelsey couldn't get into the end zone. What a game. What an incredible game. Wish I would have had a 4th Mahomes touchdown. I'm not going to lie. I don't mean to be greedy here, but that would have been nice. 4 touchdowns would have been a nice conversation piece, too, for people saying, well, he's still not, I don't know, Smitty. I don't really think he's going to. Kareem Hunt had 27 totes for 106 yards and a touchdown. He should start another game or two because it doesn't sound like Pacheco's going to be back anytime real soon, but maybe 2-3 weeks from now is a possibility. Here's the box scores. If we want to box score Bobby the hell out of this game, here are the box scores from the KC side of this situation. We got Patrick Mahomes with 34-44 passing, ankle injury, comes back into the game after a big scare, 291 passing, 3 touchdowns, almost had a 4th right there to Travis Kelce, who just couldn't get it in, which is quite a shame. Mahomes has 5 touchdowns in 2 games. Mahomes getting interviewed right now, looks healthy, not worried about the ankle whatsoever. I think we got, let me see if I can get the other box score Bobby clippings up on screen here. So we got Mahomes. I think this is Travis Kelce's box score right here. No, Kareem Hunt, 27-106 and a touch. And then here's the receiving department here. Kelce, 14 for 100. Hopkins, 8 for 86 and 2 touchdowns. Samaje Perine caught another touchdown. Was kind of a shame, to be honest with you, that Mahomes didn't get that final touchdown. But what a day, what a bounce back. KC, absolutely unreal. Undefeated still. Looking like the team to easily, the easy call for the team to beat this year. And we'll have ourselves a conversation on our hands if Mahomes three-peats. We're gonna have some tough conversations in here. They're gonna piss some people off, but let's cross that bridge when that bridge comes. Yeah, Worthy non-existent. What can you say? Hopkins came in and just it did the inverse of what we kind of expected could be the case, where Worthy would then get options and opportunities. Worthy had a touchdown opportunity, but you can't take 1 and 2 and 3 opportunities on the game, keep botching them, and have us be apologists for that situation. You just can't. The link for this poll is in the live chat. The link is being dropped right now. The link for the poll is also in the description of the video. 19 votes in favor of Hopkins being a top 12 wide receiver going forward. 6 votes, 24% of this voting poll right here. Okay, there we go. 19 votes, 70% yes to Hopkins being a wide receiver 1. We got a lot of the negative Nancy's coming in waves right now to vote no. They don't own Hopkins. They're pissed off about it. They want to vote him down because, as I just mentioned that, you saw it just trickle down. 9 votes, 31%. It's 69-31 in favor of Hopkins being a wide receiver 12 or 11 or 10, whatever you choose to define him as. But man, what a game. What a game. Vote on the poll right now. As for the other side of this football, Bucky Irving, 7 for 24. I had him going over that 32 whatever yard mark it was. He didn't get it. Kate Otten, 8 for 77 and a touchdown. Baker Mayfield, 2 touchdowns, no INTs, 200 yards. Baker continues to cook, even though he's down his top 2 options, 2 top 15 wide receivers, one of them's top 5. Unbelievable when you think about what Baker's doing right now. Now, Rachaad White felt like he had a better game than 3 receptions for 16 yards and 3 carries for 19 yards, but he had the touchdown, which salvaged the day. But it felt like he had more yards than that. Bucky just didn't have any room to run. This is a tough rushing matchup for sure, but what a day, what an outing. I had a 3-player contest on Underdog, promo code Smitty. Hit that link in the live chat. I'm going to drop it right now. It's also in the description of the video if you want to partake in these hires. I put one on screen before the show. That one didn't hit, but I did do another one. I put $445 down on Mahomes to score 1.5 TDs over. Kareem Hunt, I think it was like whatever the yardage was, like 50 or 60 yards, 63 yards, I think it was 63 over. He had 100. And when you do a flex play on Underdog, you only need 2 out of the 3 to push. So I pushed and I got my 445 back no matter what. But the only other one I was waiting on was Bucky on that 32 yards, 32.5 yards. He had 22. If I just would have had an extra 10 yards, it was a really low number. Bucky would have got me $1,250 off of that $445 droppage over on Underdog. So not the good day. I pushed on that one. but could have been better. Feel like I should have put something on Otten catching over the 4 reception total, or 3.5 it was. The yardage was low for Otten. Otten would have been a great play looking back in hindsight, but hindsight's always 10-10. Okay. So let's dig into this real quick. We'll answer these 3 super chats, open up phone lines, and talk about DeAndre Hopkins. Mahomes to the moon. I lost still 7-2. Nice record though, pal. Nice record. 7-2. Not very many people can say they're 7-2, bro. There's like one person in every league practically. After tonight, still trade Neighbors and Hopkins for Achane and Goddard. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not, bro. I feel like I might regret this, but I need a running back. Should I veto my own trade? You can't veto that. First of all, Mitchell, that's weak. You don't want to do that. That's weak. But do I think that this changes the game a little bit? I think it does. I don't think it's a horrible trade either way, no matter what way we spin this, no matter if Hopkins goes out and has another huge day next week, whatever. But at the end of the day, Achane is a running back. Achane is a top 5 running back at that. Neighbors has been struggling, could continue to struggle because his QB situation is garbage. But I do think this is a very even trade now if you needing a running back. It's possible that people think that, that the other side wins now. But I don't know that it was a lambasting on any side. I wouldn't veto your own trade. That seems weak, bro. I would never do that. That's not. I don't like that attitude or that vibe, bro. Mahomes could have had a bigger day. He was cooking. He was totally cooking, bro. That last touchdown, Kelsey. Come on, Kelsey. That was weak. You think the Bengals will trade for a running back like reported? They could, but I don't think it's going to impact anything. They're not going to start that running back over Chase Brown. Trade Chase Brown for B-Rob and Leggett. Why would you do that? It feels like you're trying to break up with Chase Brown before he breaks up with you. Like, why would you trade? Why on the earth would you trade Chase Brown right now when everything's going good? You're looking for problems. You're looking for the Chiefs to go, you're looking for the Bengals to go make some sort of crazy what-if trade that you don't even know is going to happen. And even if they traded for, let's say, Khalil Herbert, he's not starting. They're not starting him. They're just getting running back depth because maybe Moss is going to go on IR, and they're like, we need another body. You're thinking they're bringing in a starter, Mike, I don't know how to say your name. We'll call you Like. Why in the hell would you do this? It make no sense whatsoever. You're looking for problems that aren't there. You're trying to get rid of the player before they get rid of you. This is a classic. I came from a divorced family. I want to break up with this player before they break. That's what you're doing there. Tell me I'm wrong. Divorced family? Tell me I'm wrong. I understand this. Everybody has to overcome this in life. They really do. Your boy's psych degree is at work here. There's something inner working here going on. And I'm here to save the day. We're saving lives here. Trade worthy and for a ham sandwich. Depends on the ham sandwich. I got London and Mike Evans for Flowers and Chuba. I would definitely take Mike Evans in London, and you get all the points that Flowers has scored. This isn't something to where like, oh, you're gonna be, all those points will be subtracted from you. You know what I mean? Like that's an easy call at the end of the day. It's a really easy call. Otten, McBride. I don't know which one, Viz. That's a really close call. That's a real close call. Let's see here. Yeah, Otten's fantastic right now. Heard ETN might go to the Bengals. You're looking for it, bro. You're looking for it. You just want to get rid of Chase Brown so bad you don't know why. 5-4, 3-game losing streak. JD5, Kyron, Monty, Mason, Sharps, Garendo, Cup, Amon-Ra. This is a good team, man. You just had some bad luck, some things like the injury, to Cup kind of set you back. This is a great team. Kittle was offered Aaron Jones, Kincaid for Kittle. No, you don't need that. Your team is good enough. You might not be able to catch a break, but at the same time, you got a winning record. You're 5-3. Don't worry about it. Keep the course. Your team is phenomenal. Your team's phenomenal, and you got a sleeping giant still in Mason Garendo still. I stand by that. Phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
take a lap for Worthy. You take a lap for focusing on the negatives. How much great stuff happens all the time. You come in and you focus on the negative. Matt, go get me a coffee. Go get me a coffee, Matt. I swear, some people, they sit and wait and pray for negatives. What about the positives, Matt? What about the positives tonight? Is it always a negative? Or are you just sitting there waiting? Where are you when Dell's turned it around? You're probably the same person saying, Dell, been waiting all week to say this, Smitty. Dell, doesn't matter how good all your other picks have been going. We're just going to sit and pray on this Dell call you made. You're right. LOL. Am I right? Divorced family. Am I right? Maybe multiple divorced family. You know what I'm saying, bro? Look, a divorced family. I mean, really, all of us come from a divorce. So I don't know if it's that crazy, to be honest with you. Okay. $10 hauler, 5 and 4. Half PPR, Kyler, Russ, Achane, Brees, Hunt, Braylon, Wright, Grendo, Devontae Smith, McLaurin, McMillan, McBride, Hawkinson. Ideas. This is also 5 and 4 team. Dare I say this has got some huge upside as well. Maybe a tad less than the other team, but still very good. Brees, don't sell low on Brees. The only move you have really to make here, because Debo you can't sell high. Devontae Smith, believe it or not, it's not going to be a huge sell high. You might want to consider selling McBride on the high with maybe a Hunt, or upgrade your QB. Upgrade Hunt, because at some point the ball's going to drop for Hunt. I know he's looking good right now. Pacheco is going to get in the mix and at least muddy the waters up. I like McLaurin, love Debo. Devontae Smith I like a lot, but I could, put Hunt and Devontae Smith together, or Hawkinson and Devontae Smith, and try and move something take a gamble on a Tyreek Hill. Try and upgrade Devontae Smith into Nico Collins, who his owner might be like, I don't know. You give me Kareem Hunt, he looks pretty good. I don't know if Pacheco's coming back. You might be able to really make a move with that Devontae Smith spot. But that's really, your team is good. You almost want to probably wait a week before you do anything, because there's a lot of talent on here, and they still need to improve. Or some of those guys need to bounce back. 1 by 2 points thanks to Hunt. Nice job, Andy. Hunt was fantastic in this one. And 2 and 7, third week of being second top scorer, but playing the top scoring team. That is brutal, Alec. But just keep staying the course, bro. You could divide and conquer your best player to try and get a little more weaponry. Heating up, you've been waiting a while on the phone line. Let me go to you first. Heating up, what can I do for you? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
Appreciate you, Smitty. I got 2 questions for you. So, I got Ladd and Xavier Legette. I'm wondering who I should be starting going forward.
Ladd and Xavier Legette. Ladd. I like Legette.
Ladd.
I do, but Legette's got a tougher situation, bro.
Okay. And then the other thing I got is I have both Rams receivers, and I'm worried about the risk there. Playing Cooper.
What's the risk, though? They're both very, very capable. Like, this is a different kind of offense. This isn't an offense where, it's going to crap the bed consistently or anything like that, or even multiple games in a row. I'm not worried about that situation. Would I trade one? Sure. Would I maybe get rid of one to try and get a cross position move going on, like Breece Hall or something? Yeah. Would I trade one for Nico? Sure. An even Steven swap. JJ, Jamar Chase, give up a little more and get Jamar Chase by giving up one? Sure. I'm always open to that kind of.
Like Otten and Cup for Jamar Chase?
Who's your tight end if you do that?
Likely.
Chat, what do you think on that? I mean, Jamar Chase is a baller, bro. And I think part of me wonders, Kate Otten's having such a good year. And it's going to continue.
And I got Hunter Henry for him.
Yeah, it's going to continue. Try and get more. I'd try and get more. Likely's not consistent enough to where, if Andrews went down, I'm on board. And I keep Likely for that reason.
Taysom's on waivers.
Taysom's good. I'd grab Taysom off waivers. That would be a fantastic move. Yeah, I probably would. I would probably say, at the end of the day, I love Cooper Kupp, but he is older. there's some risk there, but Jamar Chase isn't exactly, a guy that, avoids all, injury situations, especially as it relates to him and separately his team, like Joe Burrow, all that. But I think I could get, let's see what the chat thinks on this one. They're saying Kupp, Otten, and Chase all day. You're going to get a torn audience vote on this one. You're going to get a totally torn, which means it's even. Which means it's what? I'm sorry. Hold on one second, Travis. Hold on one second, Travis. Let me come to you just 1 second. So do the trade in my opinion. Take a gander at the chat. Let the chat vote on it again, guys. In the chat, he's going to pick up Taysom Hill. Kupp and Otten is the offer he's sending away, and he's getting Jamar Chase. It's a close call. The chat is going to be divided on it. There's no lambaster here. You're both getting a very arguable side. Also, you could ask yourself, like, do you need to make a trade? If you don't need to make a trade at all, then don't do it. Like, if you need some spark, some kind of turnaround, you need something get something to get going, then that's something that I would consider. But if you're like crushing it right now, there's no need to move anything.
I'm 3-5, but
bro.
I'm in a 14-man league, and most of us are right on the outside of it.
And Kupp's been out, so that's partly explaining that. But I would make the move if I'm you. But go ahead, Travis. What were you going to say and add to that?
Just the only 2 points I made is just one. I know we might not do it all year, but Hutton is doing what Chase is doing right now. I know Chase can go off for a 30-point game or something, but Hutton's, he's going to keep getting targets. But the other thing I might just check is to see who the Chase owner has at tight end. If he's got, I don't know, an Ingram or something like that, see if you could work that player back into the deal to come over to your side.
He's got McBride and Laporta.
Get Laporta. Get Laporta because he's going to think Laporta's trash. A lot of people, there's people in the comments of my last video that said, okay, I'm cutting Laporta at this point. So you throw Laporta in, bro. Laporta and Jamar Chase crush Cooper Kupp and Otten. Yeah. And maybe someone's going to say Laporta's never going to turn around. And that's fine. That's an angle. That's an opinion. That's a stance. That person, whoever's saying that to me, might be right at the end of the day, but I'm taking that gamble on the wide receiver upgrade that I believe Chase is. I'm taking that gamble all day long if you give me Laporta. So that would be an absolute smash, bro.
Man, I traded them Laporta and Olave at the beginning of the season for Mason.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they'll take it back.
All right.
He probably wasn't happy.
Appreciate you.
All right, Heating. We'll appreciate it later. Later, bro. All right, let me go to you, Travis, since you're there. Go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, I was just because a lot of people, or well, not a lot, but several people have asked about what to do with Hunt. Should we sell high on him? What should we do? And I think it really all depends on what your team is and what your situation is. Because, Pacheco could come back, and Hunt he's getting less than 4 yards a carry. But the volume is so good, and they'll just keep putting him in the end zone. So,
well,
one of the safest RB2s right now.
The volume's only as good as Pacheco, is remaining out. Right. So there's just like, and for anybody that needs to have a shake of reality here, of as far as I don't think Kareem Hunt's going to get put on the bench. Remember, and I know CMC's not Pacheco per se, but maybe that's the other way around. Maybe CMC isn't going to be even as good as Pacheco could be coming back. Let's not pretend like Christian McCaffrey's this is a walk in the park for Christian McCaffrey to return to form. It's not even close to that. So I would tell people that the same way you felt about Jordan Mason 3 or 4 weeks before it started to fall off the rails, which is when I created the How to Trade Jordan Mason video that some of you followed to a T and smashed the hell out of that. Get out of that situation perfectly if you wanted to. There was still part of me that even wanted to ride that train until it completely derailed, and I did in 1 or 2 leagues. I traded him high in a couple other leagues to make sure I benefited greatly from the value that he currently had. Kareem Hunt, if you want, I'll maybe even make that same video with the same title, but about Kareem Hunt this week. How do you trade Kareem Hunt? Do you trade him in every scenario? No. Do you trade him in scenarios where you're going to be screwed at your running back 2. If he is your running back 2 and week 13, week 14 comes and he's at the very best case scenario splitting touches with Isaiah Pacheco, who is the starter, who's not losing his job to injury. He might lose some workload and this be a split committee thing. Sure, look at P. Ryan. P. Ryan's out there catching passes and making this a committee type feel at times. So there's no reason why Reed's going to keep both of them off the field. It will be cloudy at times, but you better trade Hunt now while you can, while you've got weeks of separation. But like example, you trade for Nico Collins 2 weeks before his return. He's cheaper than he should be. You trade for him 1 week before. No one really wants to sell him because they've already waited 3 weeks. He's coming back. There's an advantage of trading Kareem Hunt now before it's too late because his value will only get worse every single game. Doesn't matter how good he does. Mason was better than Hunt is. Mason's was as good as anybody. And 1 or 2 bad games, completely forgotten man. That's just the way it is. All right, hang tight. Let me go right over to Rob. Rob, you're live. And I'll go back to you, Travis, in 1 second. Go ahead, Rob.
Smitty, I was sweating this whole game. I put in Bucky over D-Hop, but luckily Kelsey came through.
Ooh, doggy.
I called up yesterday. Everybody was saying Bucky, and D-Hop came out and had 2 touchdowns.
To be honest, bro, it was hard to know. Like anybody that says they saw that coming, they didn't, because he had a flat first game out, and then when you hear Reed say he's going to get more work, it's not like Reed said he's going to be totally unleashed and totally uncapped. He's not going to be capped at all. So no one really knew what we were getting. But man, Hopkins looks, again, dare I say, not the same level, but a smaller poor man's version. Not even a poor man's version, because that sounds like it's a lot lesser, but a somewhat poor man's version of what Randy Moss looked like when he went from horrible situation over to New England, when everybody thought he was at the Raiders, he was done. He'd already had a pretty long career, seemed like he was washed. He goes over to New England, has a unbelievable season to the tune of maybe one of the best receivers in fantasy football that season to ever play the game.
Yeah.
And now you got Hopkins, not saying Hopkins is catching 20 touchdowns, type of pace, but he scored 2 tonight. And he looked unbelievable. And the other thing I want to say about Hopkins is Hopkins he wasn't just in the right place at the right time. Like Hopkins was unreal in terms of Mahomes threw it to him and it was going to be caught. There was contested catch situation after contested catch situation. And Hopkins would just, no matter how many hands were near the ball, he would grab it. He's not a body catcher, but he's very good at body catching, if that makes sense. It's not like he has to when he knows he's got to use his body as a third arm, essentially. When he puts that football against his chest, he knows how to pin it down. When he's got to grab it, when there's 2 hands right here, he'll grab it where someone else is contesting it, and he'll grab a hold of it, hold that thing tightly, flow like a hawk daily and nightly. That guy is an unbelievable wide receiver still. You could see it. I'm not saying he's number 1, 2, or 3 overall. I'm not an idiot, but he is a borderline, at the very least, borderline fantasy football wide receiver 1. And if you want to say, let's call him a wide receiver 2, Smitty. Okay, let's call him 13, 14, or 15 overall. Like potential, not locked in. Just we're talking about potential. Like if I'm ranking, I don't think I'm ranking him 12, but like I want to say when I'm drafting him, wherever I do draft him, this could be wide receiver 12 going forward.
Yeah. Definitely top 20 for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you.
Yeah.
In regards to the Chiefs, 2 questions. Kelsey, would you trade him now? Because I feel like the Chiefs 8-0, they're going to sit their players during the fantasy playoffs. Would you trade him for like an Otten right now?
Be careful. Be careful making assumptions, bro, like that. You don't know. You have no
Yeah,
idea.
I'm just worried because
I know you're worried,
No,
but you sound like the other guy that said, "Should I trade away Chase Brown because I think they could."
no. Chase Brown's
But
on
listen,
the come up.
bro, let me speak. I'm just trying to tell you. You sound like that guy because Chase Brown. He wants to trade Chase Brown because he heard a rumor that ETN might get traded, and maybe he gets traded to the Bengals because the Bengals are potentially, maybe because some beat writer reported looking for a warm body to put in their running back room because they're losing maybe Zach Moss to IR. That's a reactive Roger move. You can't assume that the Chiefs don't lose 3 straight games. You can't assume that they're going to sit all their starters 2 weeks prior to the play. Like, that's not. I'm not saying that they don't sit them maybe a little bit earlier in that final week 17 game, but that's an assumption that I don't think you can make. Yeah. Not to mention, you have to get to the championship game before you're ever even affected for that. So you're fighting for second place when you start making maneuvers that are literally like what if scenarios that you have no control over.
Then, in that regard, with you were just talking about Kareem Hunt. Who would you say is a good trade? If I have Hunt in one of my leagues, who could I trade Hunt for right now? That would be a realistic, win-win.
Tyreek Hill, Deebo Samuel. In some of these, you're giving up more. You're giving up Hunt and let's say a J.K. Dobbins, and all of a sudden you get somebody to give you a Deebo, a Nico Collins, Kareem Hunt straight up for DK Metcalf, Kareem Hunt for a quarterback upgrade. You get to upgrade into a top 5 or 4 quarterback. Maybe you have a bad QB situation. Now you have a guy that's saying like, crap, I don't know if I play Mahomes now or JD5 because I have JD5, and you can give up Hunt to that owner for Mahomes if you wanted to. There's so many different ways you could go about it, but some of the most creative ways that solve your problem will need to be you giving up Hunt and an additional player for one player because Hunt alone can't do it. And there's the effect of diluting the responsibility of the player when you do a 2-for-1 trade. This is why 2-for-1 trades are absolutely outstanding, as are 2-for-2. But if you're trading Hunt away to somebody and you're trying to get this one player, the responsibility that Hunt holds when the owner evaluates this 1-for-1 is everything. He holds everything. You then start inward looking at it going, how many weeks can he last? What if he doesn't play the whole season? I can't take that kind of gamble. You start making it to where you give Hunt and a wide receiver for this one player. Now all of a sudden the person says, well, I don't have to put all the responsibility on Hunt. This guy can carry the weight. Now I'm looking at this from a glass half full perspective. Hunt could be the guy that ends up doing it. If he does, I got 2 players. It changes the dynamic entirely. The psychology behind a 2-for-1 or a 2-for-2 is light years or is amazing and does you're going to be light years ahead your trading techniques if you start implementing a lot more creative 2-for-2s and 1-for-2s and 2-for-1s. But don't let don't stop at the 1-for-1s or the 1-for-2s and the 2-for-1s. Make sure you're exploring the 2-for-2 trades too, because sometimes you can ask for that player if you're getting, let's say you're trading for I'll just say Breece Hall, and you're trading Kareem Hunt, who obviously is not going to get you Breece Hall. However, he's playing better than Breece Hall, so there's some allure there. If it's Hall for Hunt, they're going to say, hell no, because I don't know if Hunt's going to be there. But you all of a sudden throw in a receiver like Reed, who just had a 100-yard game. Now somebody's confused and conflicted because you're giving him a player that's currently playing better than Hall right now. You're giving him a player that's currently playing better than Hall right now. And now they're saying, I don't know if I trust the Jets team. And you've conflicted them, and they're distributing both of the risk to both of these players, lessening the blow and impact of making this trade altogether, and then they make a mistake. If you include a second player here, like let's say you're going after somebody like Deebo, and you could honestly argue that Reed and Deebo have some similar values at times, and you can make different arguments different weeks. Hunt is obviously playing out of his mind. This requires you to get a second player. That's when you're kind of doing the same thing. You're disguising Hunt as if he's not a problem. You're putting him into a 2-for-2 trade. You're getting Debo and another player, and you're offloading this problem to somebody else, and you're doing kind of an even Steven trade. On face value, surface level, Hunt and Reed are equal to your Debo and player. But you're thinking so far ahead, you're trying to get ahead of this right here. In 2 weeks from now, this will not be an even trade. But because you did a 2-for-2, it looks even now. It feels even now. They're going to worry about the risk later.
Yeah.
All right, I got to roll, bro. Appreciate you.
Got it, man. Thanks, man. Bye.
All right, let's see here. I got to roll through these quick, guys. I got super chats piling up. Mike from Atlanta, you got 20 seconds, bro. I'm sorry. No full teams. Hit me with it, quick.
No, it's all good. It's all good, bro. It's all good, man. Hunt to the moon, bro. I am nervous because he is my RB2. I do already have Breeze. I have Evans coming back. I got JJ. I got BCJ and Mooney. He is my RB2, though. And I got Stafford at quarterback. So do I need to trade Hunt and try to get a quarterback upgrade? He is my RB2.
Again, like I said, if he's your RB2, you're going to be crap out of luck later because he's going to be inserted into a more cloudy situation. Pacheco's going to get inserted and cloudy up the situation in a best case scenario for you. So you have to try and do what I just said. 2-for-1s, 2-for-2s. Figure it out. Go get Walker potentially on the cheap. You could maybe even do that with Hunt and a wide receiver that's doing well that you don't need, something like that. I think Stafford is hard to mix Stafford into this because you need to address that problem. You need to either go get Pacheco and then you're fine. Go get Pacheco, then you're fine. You're covered. It might still be murky, but at least you're covered. It might be.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, call back when you got something on that, and we'll hit it up. All right, later, bro.
All right, cool. Appreciate it.
Taylor, you got 20 seconds, bro. Go.
Yo, so Ray Davis got dropped, right? So I'm thinking about picking him up, but he's never going to hit my starting lineup, really, because I've got 3 RB1s that I'm starting every week right now because of all the trades I've made. So do I still grab Ray Davis and then try to move him to, like, the Cook owner for something? Or do I just plan for the future and just, like, hold another elite defense that I can start in upcoming weeks? Because a lot of the defenses are kind of getting a little shaky. Like right now, I've got the Chargers and the Steelers.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I'm a running back hoarder, so I'm gonna grab this RB that could turn into an amazing trade for you. I wouldn't look at it like you're starting Ray Davis. I would look at it like you're investing in a trade piece later that can get you into a wide receiver or quarterback or tight end upgrade later. So my general answer is go after the RB or hold the RB. But if you have tremendous success streaming defenses, you've won leagues by that route, then by all means follow your gut on that. But there are a lot of people that stream defenses that don't do a very good job of it. So it's not like you're picking up big names, you're never hitting. If you're really good at it, then I guess bro, it's a big avenue. And I think this offseason we need to maybe.
I streamed Chargers this last week and they got me 20 points.
So it could definitely win you a league. So if you know what you're doing and you feel like it's a huge lineup difference maker for you, and there are good pieces out there still. You're saying they're getting kind of like sketchy. Then I don't know if it's worth it. If you can find the right piece, then do it. But it's hard to say. All right, I got to roll. Taylor, bring it to me. If another one, if you got one later. All right, Travis. You're up, and then I got to get back to these super chats. What can I do for you? What else is on your mind?
No, just on Hunt again, like you were saying, take him and just look at the guys that Kyron. Like you never know. Look at the record of the teams in your league. See where people are at. You don't know what people are trying to do. In the Patreon tonight, we were talking about a guy that is really stupid, but he gave up Derrick Henry for Chuba and JSN off of high performances, which is insane. But it just goes to show you never know what you can get done. So, like you always preach, throw those offers out there.
Yeah, people make dumb trades every single day. Every single day.
They look at, like, Jason's good, but is he a 30-point game? Is he going to do that again all year? Probably not, So take a chance and upgrade your team.
Yeah,
I'll let you go.
Every single day, people make dumb trades. All right, thanks, Travis. I'll see you on Patreon probably later. All right. I might open the phone line again, though. I'm not sure. All right, later. Who called Chase Brown? Says Monk. He says Smitty. I'll be honest. Chase Brown had a real negative feel. You know, like it was kind of like a crappy feeling. You know, that he was not doing what we thought he would do right away. And it sucked to weather through weeks 1 and 2, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes we're way early on something too, and sometimes you just got to stay the course and make sure. Isaac, I'm trying to get to the super chats, bro. I definitely on my mind. You can see them in front of my screen. I also got a show to run, and you know, I try and do a mix of phone calls. I also open the phone lines when I didn't have a single super chat on my screen, and then, you know, we went through a gauntlet of things. So I'm getting to it right now, my guy. I appreciate you. Okay. Dante says, don't start streaming until after the game starts. No, Dante, go get me a coffee. I'll stream when I want. Dante. Appreciate you. Anyway. Okay, Ryan, appreciate your super chat. Ryan says, 0.5 PPR, redraft 12 team 2 flex. I had Kyler, Gibbs, Achane, Neighbors, BT, Kincaid, Tracy, Tillman, traded Tracy, Tillman, and Pearsall on the bench for David Montgomery, Ingram, Waddle. Tracy, Tillman. Yeah, I mean, bro, you could argue this any which way. I'd rather have the DeMont side. Should I shop a tight end with Waddle for a monster? Bro, I don't know that a tight end like who do you got? You got Kincaid, Neighbors, Tillman. Wait, who do you have? Ingram and who? Ingram and Kincaid. I don't know that Kincaid in Waddle's getting you a monster. I hate to break it to you, but would I try? Maybe try for Hill. Maybe try for Walker. Maybe you get those guys. Maybe you upgrade BT into, you know, maybe you BT and Ingram and Waddle for a wide receiver, a monster, sure. You know, maybe Lamb Chops is a lot cheaper than he should be. I have a feeling he is. Would I trade BT and Ingram for Lamb? Absolutely. You know, Ryan, maybe you can get a monster. Maybe you can. Try. That would be an unbelievable move. Lamb, Hunt, Ferguson for Bijan, Rodgers. My QB is Kyler. I'm not starting Rodgers over Kyler like on some regular, you know, consistent level. Like they really could rotate. And Lamb, Hunt, Ferguson, I don't know. I'd rather have Lamb and Hunt, even though Hunt, you could sell Hunt in a separate deal to try and get out like we're talking about. But right now, Hunt and Lamb with Kyler is just better. I don't think I can make that move. I understand it, but I wouldn't make it. Trade away Kenneth Walker, Sharps for Cooper Kupp. I'd take Cooper Kupp, especially because you need the wide receiver help. Hassan 6-3. Mahomes, Kupp, Amari, Terry, Dell, Worthy, Coleman. Got offered Otten for my Terry. I don't know. Ertz is your starter. I'd rather have Scary Terry. I think Otten is a huge positional advantage, but I don't think I'm feeling comfortable getting rid of. You're creating a hole in the boat somewhere when you're filling the other one. Either way you look at it, you know, I think, you know, Amari and Worthy can't be trusted right now. Coleman can't be trusted right now. Unfortunately, those things can be said and need to be said. And right now, Kupp and Scary Terry are pretty powerful for you. And I'm not saying Otten vanishes by any means, but there definitely could be some sort of slowdown as he gets overworked. And I don't know. I love Otten. He's a fantastic top 5 to 10 tight end, but you're getting rid of McLaurin. So I'm going to say no. Can shop tight end, Waddle, Monty, my $10 hauler can shop tight end, Waddle, David Montgomery. So if you're shopping that, maybe you could get a Breece and something. Maybe you could get a Lamb and something, Ryan. I definitely would try those things. Have Laporta, trade my Achane for Rashad White and Otten. I would no way in hell I'm going to do that. Laporta is still a top 5 tight end to me. If people don't agree with that, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with people about it. But if I've got Laporta, I have no concerns. I'm still rolling with Laporta. He will bounce back. Lost 161 to 191. No worthy points like a ham sandwich. He definitely did not step up at all. He had a chance for a touchdown, but we can't keep apologizing for him. He didn't get his feet in. Starting roster: Hurts, Najee, B-Rob, Jamar Chase, Reed, Tillman, Koo. Benches: ETN, Bigsby, Garendo, Pickens, Flowers. I think Flowers and Pickens, you need to trade one or both of those guys. You need to try and get an up. I mean, first of all, in general, Flowers or Pickens needs to start for you over Tillman. But maybe Najee or B-Rob Jr., both of those guys, like, you got to try and get a Breece Hall right now. Try and get a Kenneth Walker right now. Try and get an RB that you can shove right into your running back one spot, because if I could give up Najee and Pickens to get Breece Hall right now, that's not a pipe dream. It's not. It's very doable. To go get CeeDee Lamb right now in an additional trade, you could do that. You could potentially give up the other player. You could give up Flowers and Reed to get CeeDee Lamb. Who's saying that can't happen right now? There's so many people panicking on CeeDee Lamb. That's why he was in the Panic Chamber episode earlier today. And that's why in that same episode I said he's both a sell and he's a hold, and he is also a buy low in situations where people are panicking. I'm buying the hell out of him. Kyron, Monty, Mason, Garendo, Sharps, Kittle, Pearsall, Cup, Amon-Ra. Go after neighbors? Absolutely. Owners got Laporta. Would leave me with Lions. Different owner has Tyreek and McLaurin. I don't think I'm trading Cup or Amon-Ra, though. So I don't know that you're going to be able to really get him. And Monty, you trade Monty, who's your RB? You start going after wide receivers. I don't think this is the right trade for you. I think if you want to get rid of Cup or Amon-Ra, I don't want to do that for Tyreek. I don't want to do that necessarily for neighbors. I want to keep your two wide receivers the way they are. I suppose I would trade Cup or Amon-Ra for Tyreek and a big piece. Would McLaurin and Tyreek be enough? I don't think so. I don't think I like that risk level. Would maybe neighbors and an RB be something I would do for Cup and Amon-Ra? Yeah, TP, but not looking to make any. Kenneth Walker, there you go. Tyreek and Kenneth Walker for one wide receiver, TP, I would do that. Space, appreciate you. What running back would I target to trade for Tank Dell? I don't know that you're going to get a Walker. I don't know. This is going to be a Dell and somebody for Walker. Dell and somebody for Breece Hall. And in that case, it's got to be a bigger somebody. It's got to be a bigger somebody than the Dell weight that Dell carries. Dell straight up for an RB? I don't even know if that's a possibility. I don't even know if that's something that you can really actually even pull off. Not to say I don't agree with Dell having that kind of value, but I don't know that other people will think that he's got that kind of weight. You could look at Dell for Connor. I don't know that will work. Dell for maybe, I don't think Chase Brown. I don't think you could get Chase Brown for Dell anymore. Chase Brown's higher than that. Jacobs, probably something you could look at. Swift, probably straight up is a possibility. Aaron Jones, maybe. Tracy, Dell for Tracy. That's space. That's probably the best match that I can come up with at Tracy. And I could go for either one, depending on your need, your positional need. Trade advice: QB, Murray, running backs, Bijan, Achane, Gibbs, Chase Brown, Mostert, Cup, Debo, Addison, Worthy, Watson, Laporta, Ferguson. Botlow on Gibbs and Laporta, an idea for a trade. I think, I would definitely go after Mahomes right now. I think whoever has him has been wavering anyway, so they're probably quick to let me sell high on him, I guess. Unless they want to go with Mahomes, then they got another quarterback. I think Kyler's good enough to hold versus upgrade lateral, which you might do thinking you're upgrading, but Kyler's still got top 7 to 12 QB upside, so is going after a Darnold really an upgrade? I don't think I'm doing things like that. I think I'd rather ride the risk of Kyler Murray getting better than to start doing these lateral moves and diluting my other positions and depth. I think this team is really, really good. I think you have an opportunity to trade maybe one of the tight ends, whichever one will get you more. Ferguson probably gets you more. And you maybe look to explore trading Addison on the high. You maybe look to trade Chase Brown and and Ferguson for a wide receiver like Hill, like Debo, like DK Metcalf, who's injured, to get that extra wide receiver help, because I think that team could use that. One of my teams finished with a tie this week. Have you ever finished with a tie, Smitty? Absolutely, Ray. 100%. I've had that happen multiple times. You got to have good tiebreakers. You really, actually ties are okay, but we usually have tiebreakers in most of my leagues though. But I have finished with ties. Who do I even divide and conquer if possible? Can't believe this team is 2-7. Hurts, AJB, Tyreek, Debo, Achane, Chase Brown. The only player you can really get max value for right now, the only player, is Achane. And you'd have to get a Walker and like Tyreek Hill type player, which you have Tyreek, but you get my drift. So you gotta go find somebody. Go after the Walker owner. Go after the Breece Hall owner. Would I trade Achane for Breece Hall in a little piece? Maybe you could upgrade Chase Brown into a wide receiver that's kind of on the same level, but like you get like a Debo type player. I know you got Debo, but these are great examples that you already have, unfortunately. But there would be like a DK Metcalf injured. But yeah, I mean, I think the first target I would have would be Achane to Breece Hall and get an extra player, because Achane has more value than Breece Hall. That way you're not downgrading Achane too much in my mind. You're still getting Breece Hall. Strike, appreciate you. Hurts, Barkley, Hall, Nico, Hill, Cup, McBride starting, D-Hop, Worthy. Woo! You got to put D-Hop in the lineup going forward. Should I trade Hall and D-Hop for Henry? Chat, would you take Henry over Hall and D-Hop? It's not a bad trade on both sides. That's crazy. Hit me with the vote on this one. What are you guys thinking here? D-Hop and Hall for Henry. Which side do you like better? I'm just curious, because Hopkins gained a lot of value tonight, and I'm very curious. We have a lot of Breece Hall fans in here that are not selling low. Hall and Hopkins. Henry all day. Henry. Hall and Hopkins. Henry side. Henry safer. Henry. The vote's Henry. I'm going to say Henry. And even further to answer this question, he says he can't even start D Hopkins. So without even injecting that into the conversation, I wanted to ask you guys. And with that information, I think it would change some votes. I would make this trade and go get Henry if you can't even start Hopkins. I have Mayfield, Stream QB, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, HN, Chase Brown. Great team. Hopkins, Deontay. Any moves with this team? No. Chris, I like this team a lot. This is a fantastic squad. Quarterback upgrade. I go get Mahomes if you can. Other quarterback buy lows, maybe Stroud. I know he's playing like trash, but bro, he's getting Nico back. I think Stroud's a good buy for you. And who do you use? Pacheco. Jeez, you got to have some other depth somewhere. I mean, Chase Brown or Hopkins could be used, but I think you got some other depth somewhere. I'm trying to go get Stroud on the cheap. Baker and something should get that done. 12-team PPR, 4-5. Everyone is 7-2 to 3-6. Love, T-Log, Gibbs, Jacobs, Tracy, Adams, Garrett Wilson, Reed, Waddle, Pearsall, moves. You embarrass other creators. Thank you, Blake. Appreciate that. Best compliment I ever get. Appreciate you. Jeez, man. I guess like Jacobs or Tracy with Adams, and I just sell Adams high. I'd rather sell Adams than Reed. I love both of them, but I'd rather sell Adams than Reed. I'd probably say, let's see here. Let me look up some players that you could. How about you make a trade like, damn, bro, this is tough. Yeah, I'm getting rid of Adams. I'd rather keep Reed, Trade Adams and Jacobs or Adams and Tracy for Hill. It's a gamble, but it's a fun one to make, in my opinion. Hill, Debo, Puka, Cooper Kupp, Neighbors. Maybe Neighbors and something. Obviously, I don't think I could trade. I don't think I could trade Jacobs and Adams for Neighbors alone or some of those names, but I could trade Tracy, even though I love them. Tracy and Adams for Neighbors, Kupp, Puka, Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, etc. If you throw Jacobs in with Adams, you should be able to ask for Jamar Chase. I'm not saying you'll get it, but you can have that conversation. You could ask for CeeDee Lamb. Blake, CeeDee Lamb is probably the most risky, highest upside, biggest name, buy low, and Breece Hall that you can get. Jacobs and Adams for Breece Hall, something if you can get it. Jacobs and Adams for CeeDee Lamb and something if you can get it. Blake, those are the two targets for me. I just looked at everything. Those would make the most sense. Ryan, appreciate your blank $4.99 hauler. T Sizzle traded Waddle, James Cook for Kupp. Yeah, I guess a win, T Sizzle, if you have the depth for it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see here if we can find. I got a few more super chats. Isaac, trade away Hubbard for JMO and Javonte. I would rather have JMO and Javonte merely because of JMO. I'm not saying I don't like Javonte, but JMO, that's fantastic. $20 hauler gets immediate attention from Tanner. Appreciate Tanner, my boy, dropping a wad on screen. JD5 Gibbs Achan. Jefferson, Debo, Dell, Chase Brown, Gesicki, bench, Worthy, Dowdle, Bigsby. 2-flex league, need to upgrade for an elite player to start in second flex spot. Chase Brown could be, but has crazy sell value. Yeah, I looking at your depth, I don't feel it. I don't feel like you got much to couple with Chase Brown to sell Chase Brown. Like, could you maybe go after, maybe you're starting Bigsby or Dunze or whatever in this flex spot, and you trade two of your starters, Dell and Brown for Hill, Dell and Brown for Puka, Dell and Brown for Neighbors. Neighbors is pretty cheap right now. Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra. Like, I like that move. And then you're even thinner at the flex spot than you were before, but you've beefed up your lineup. I tend to go that way versus, past that, I don't think I'm selling Chase Brown because you don't have enough depth to do it on the bench. Tight ends are Kincaid and Gesicki, says Gene. Gene, I don't know what this is relating to, but if I had to rank these two, if it's to another super chat, you got to ask the question in one. By the time I get to it, I have no idea what you've even asked. I think if you are trying to make a trade right now, Gesicki's got some good trade value. So if you could throw Gesicki, if we're talking about something else, Gesicki into a trade, he probably has some pretty decent trade value right now because he popped off. Banking on CMC. He's an alien. Chris, that's a blind. You're jumping in blind, bro. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't know. 4 and 5, 10-team, full PPR. Mahomes, Kyron, Tracy, Chase, Kupp, Ingram, Hill, bench, Dell, ETN, Bigsby, Love, Rome, any moves. Probably say with this squad, I'm pretty content. I think I let it ride. There's not a lot to move from the bench unless you're trading like Brooks and Tracy and you're upgrading a little bit, or Brooks and Tyreek Hill to get a CeeDee Lamb. You know what I mean? Like Brooks and Hill to that. I don't know if that's going to even work, but if it did, I'd take Lamb. And if I could trade Tracy and Hill into Breece Hall and something, I would do that. Past that, I like the squad a lot. Feel like that's about where I'd leave it. It's a good team. Really solid team. 12-team PPR. 5 and 4 looking to upgrade the flex to replace Olave. Would you trade JD5 and Tracy for Breece Hall and Tank Dell? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I would smash that trade. Dak, rest of season or move on? I think you got to move on. But would I stash him or something? Sure. Is he going to go on IR? Maybe that helps make your decision easier tomorrow if that happens. If he doesn't go on IR, then yeah, I'd rather have Kirk and Drake May than hold on to him all year. I'd rather have those two quarterbacks in my arsenal versus like hanging on to Dak. Dak hasn't been playing well anyway. It's $100 buy-in in my league. Need to make one move that wins the league. What player should I get out of those? Tanner, I don't have your other super chat. I can look for it later, but you got to include everything in the question because it's long gone by then. I'll come back to that. Appreciate your super chat. Let me try and find it in a bit. Guys, for anybody about to super chat or super chat in the future, you got to have it standalone in the question. Traded Bowers, Dell for London. I have Njoku. Is that crazy? Traded Bowers and Dell for London. I'd rather have Bowers and Dell by quite a bit. Just because you had the extra tight end, that doesn't mean I'm moving Bowers at that cheap price, especially with Dell playing as well as he's playing. But, you can still make a move. Murray, Hall, JT, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Waddle, DJ Moore, JSN, Tracy, Otten, Laporta, Stafford, Benson, your 4 and 5. Chance things improve moving forward. Moves to make. I would say, JT, Hall, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Would I try and get rid of DJ Moore, T. Higgins, or Waddle with Tracy to get one big monster like Hill, like Neighbors, like Puka, like Debo? Yes, I would. Breece Hall specifically, CeeDee Lamb specifically. So if DJ Moore or T or Waddle with Tracy gets that done, or Otten, I think your bet is what I keep telling other people to bet on is Laporta. You trade Otten on the high because you can. You don't get rid of any of the points he's had. Let go of the idea that you're trading the guy that you've had score all year. You haven't. You're trading the future weeks of Otten. So you trade Otten and Waddle. You go get a Hill type player. You go get a CeeDee Lamb. Otten and Waddle could get you that. JT and Otten could maybe get you a Kyron type upgrade. Lamb is the best player to go get in fantasy in those situations. This one here, 4 and 5. Now RIP, couple trades potentials. Chase Brown and JSN for Nico, too much. It could be. I mean, look, DK's coming back. I'm not saying JSN goes away, but he's certainly not going to have the same exact upside. But DK may not be totally healthy right away. I would probably say I'd rather have Nico under the idea that, JSN will be hit and miss a little bit. Like, keep in mind, Juwan Jennings had one of the best fantasy weeks this year, period. And he didn't do anything else after that week. I'm not saying JSN's that. I love JSN. But I'm just saying don't expect JSN to be an elite top 5 wide receiver all year. Also Lamar or JD5 rest of the season. You got to roll with Lamar right now, but you probably need to make a trade, bro, because JD5's got tremendous trade value. Or you start JD5, you trade Lamar high, and you maybe upgrade Rashad White. My Mondre and Rashad White for K9. I would take the gamble on K9, but honestly, Ramondre is pretty hard to value right now. He's got a lot of value. He's got a lot of upside and not a lot of value. So, you have to buy him low. It sucks. It is what it is. James with the super chat here. Full PPR, Murray, Hall, JT, Chase, T. Already did that one. Thank you, James. Appreciate you. Otten. Definitely look to move Otten, in my opinion. In your situation, not in general. Traded Monty, Jacobs, Keon, Downs for Kyron and Debo. Traded Jacobs, Keon, Coleman, Downs, and Monty for Kyron and Debo. It's a smash, bro. That's a smash. Healing. Should I offer Breece Dell for Nico Walker? I think it's pretty even. Chat, what side do you like better? Nico Walker or Breece Dell? To be honest with you, that's dead even. I guess I'd rather bank on... I'd probably rather bank on Breece and Dell because I believe in Dell more than I believe in... I believe in Breece more than I believe in Walker. I believe in Dell less than I believe in Nico, but how significant is it? I think it's relatively big, but not maybe as big as it could be on that running back side. Even though I love Walker, it's more about volume. Won my 3 games because of Otten, now in first place, stacked on running backs, Achane, Bijan, Chase Brown, Dobbins, B-Rob, Bigsby. Wide receivers are Neighbors, MHJ, picked up Coleman, Tillman, Leggett this week. Any moves? I'd say it's hard to trade MHJ or Neighbors right now. So unless you can maybe move one of those guys with Dobbins or B-Rob or Chase Brown to get a Hill or a St. Brown or a Lamb or a potential Nico coming back from injury, then it's going to be hard for you to make many moves. I think you probably wait a week. You're definitely a good candidate to maybe wait a week. Jesse, appreciate you. 4 straight wins, potential moves to stay on top. Hurts, Brees, Gibbs, JT, Chase Brown, Tyreek, Debo, Devontae Smith, McBride. McBride's a great sell right now, bro. Not saying to do it for anything. I'm just saying if you need to make any moves, you got to breach the team a little bit. I love your running back stable. I even trust JT in this situation, given he's your 3rd running back. Chase Brown's phenomenal. Tyreek, Debo, Devontae Smith. Maybe explore getting a CeeDee Lamb using Chase Brown and Devontae Smith. Or McBride and Chase Brown for Lamb and something. Past that, bro, I'm probably hanging pretty tough with that squad. That's a really solid team. Asan, so about Worthy, drop him. Depends on the ad. I can't tell you overall. You don't just drop him no matter what, but like, because he still could develop later. But I mean, depends on your situation. Rather have JT or Brees rest of season for sure. For me, anyway. Ryan, appreciate you. Ryan says, thinking about trading Hunt, JT, and Garrett Wilson for Brees and Braylon Allen. Garrett Wilson, Hunt, and JT, no way I'm doing that. Also have Gibbs, St. Brown. No, you can't do that. JT, you're giving JT away like he's trash. There's no way I'm doing that. That's not even close. DK or London, who in London guy has no heart? DK or London? I'd rather have DK once he's back, but right now, and London's hurt too, but I wouldn't say London's got no heart, but I'd say I'd rather have DK. Reed and Tracy for Brees. I'd rather have Brees Hall. That's a great question, though. Have Tyreek. Yeah, that's a good trade. I like that. This one here, 1 by 3 because of Otten now first place. Oh, I just read that one. Thank you, pal. Appreciate your super chat. This one here from Ryan. Ryan, appreciate you. 0.5 redraft 12 team. Have Kyler, Gibbs, Achane, Neighbors, BT, Kincaid, Ingram, David Montgomery, Waddle. Texting with the 12th place team right now. Mahomes, Chase Brown, Chubb, Adams. So I like Tyreek on his team. I like Mahomes and Chase Brown. And let's call it a day. DK, I guess, too. Yeah. So with your team, Achane, Neighbors, BT. I don't know, man. I Mahomes, like Kyler for Mahomes, and maybe you give him Waddle for, I don't know. What can you do here? What about Waddle and Kincaid? I'm not sure he's going to even want him, but Waddle, Kincaid for Tyreek, who's struggling. So it's not like it's a crazy move. I think that could potentially work. I like getting Mahomes though. Waddle and Kyler for Mahomes. I'd probably do that, Ryan. It's not crazy. I traded my Neighbors for his Collins. I like that. I'd rather have Collins. Smash. Do I trade DeAndre Hopkins and Dalvin Cook for Saquon Barkley? Dalvin Cook? Who cares about Dalvin Cook? Barkley and Nick Chubb. Bro, if you can get... I think you mean James Cook. I think you mean James Cook, Miguel. There's no way you mean Dalvin Cook. Hopkins and James Cook for Saquon. I'd rather have Saquon and Nick Chubb. Yep, easily. And Tanner, let me see if I can find your other question, Tanner. Tanner had the $20 holler. Tanner, you still there, Tanner? Okay, it's a $100 buy-in. Need to make one more move that wins this league. The player to get those players. What player to get those players? I don't know what we're talking about here. This is, after the fact. So let me just look at your question one more time. JD5, Gibbs, Achane, Jefferson, Debo. Love this team, as I mentioned already. Need to upgrade for an elite player to start the second flex spot. Chase Brown, solid. Again, I don't know if you're still in here, Tanner. Tanner, are you still here? It's a $100 buy-in league. Need to make one move that wins the league. What player to get with those players? I think you're just asking an additional question. It wasn't off of my answer. but I'm gonna wait and see if Tanner's in here. Tanner, appreciate you. I'm just gonna say this, Tanner. I again look at this team and I say in order to get rid of, if I'm getting rid of Gibbs or Achane, which is really the only, you could get rid of Jefferson maybe, like Jefferson for Lamb and an upgraded, flex play. Like maybe you give up Bigsby and you give up JJ and you get Lamb and something. But at the end of the day, like you're still risking it somewhere. Would I rather you just risk your flex play? Like Chase Brown, I love. Dell, I'm fine with. I think I would contemplate an Achane or Gibbs for Breece Hall and a player. Like if you could get them to throw in a Reed, you could get them to throw in a player of that level and magnitude, then it makes sense for me to take the gamble on Breece Hall maybe. But it'd have to be a Jaden Reed. It'd have to be a Deebo Samuel. It'd have to be an injured DK Metcalf. It couldn't be something small. It'd have to be something significant in order for me to downgrade an Achane or a Gibbs into Breece Hall and take the gamble that Breece Hall doesn't bounce back. I'd rather just keep your team. I think your team looks phenomenal. I think the team's got a lot of upside. I think Bigsby's still a decent stash. We don't know what he's going to be the rest of the season, but he could bounce back into some good value. But Chase Brown and Dell are fantastic final bench pieces for you. Your bench players, I like them, bro. I'm not even worried about it. I don't think I make any moves here. I'd rather, unless I'm trading Chase Brown and Dell together for one big dog like CeeDee Lamb. Would Chase Brown and Dell get Lamb? Maybe. Could they get Breece Hall? Probably not, but would I throw that offer out there? 100%. Would I throw in Kincaid? Sure. Would I throw in Bigsby? Yes. Would I throw in Odunze, who had a pretty decent day? Absolutely. Chase Brown and Dell could get me Lamb. I'd take that gamble all day long. Breece Hall all day long. Past that, my bro, I don't know that I'm making any moves at all. Tanner, I hope you're out there. I hope Tanner's still there. Tanner to the moon. Mike, appreciate you. London and Tracy for Kyron. Of course, I would take Kyron, bro. That's easy. Lamb for Nico Collins. I'd rather have Nico right now. And that's tough to say, but it is what it is. With Dak and everything, you got to do that. 5-4, James Conner, Breece, JJ, London, McBride, Ramondre, Tank Dell, bench, Allen, Flowers. You got to probably trade either Tank Dell, Ramondre, or London or Flowers. Like you can't just, you got Debo and got Pacheco on our, you got to start, you got to make some trades. Make space for Pacheco. Who do you cut? I mean, of these, I can't cut anybody you listed here. You have to have another bench player somewhere. But your team's phenomenal. Am I upgrading James Conner using Flowers or James Conner using, Ramondre, or would I even like Hopkins right now? Awesome value. Conner and Hopkins for Lamb. Conner and Hopkins for, what about Flowers and Conner, Flowers and Hopkins for Lamb for a Jamar Chase type player? Would I trade Hopkins for? Jeez, man. What about London injured with Conner for? What RBs could you even get? That's tough. Go to the Hunt owner. See if you can trade Pacheco and let's call it Flowers for an upgraded wide receiver to the Hunt owner. That's what I'd probably do. Nice squad, bro. Lost Diggs down 23. Played at Mahomes 7-2. Hopkins over Debo. I don't know right now, bro. I don't know how to digest that. I'd probably say Debo for right now, but man, Hopkins could be as good. He could. I mean, look at the vote's kind of torn. 65% of people think he's a top 12 wide receiver. 21% say no. That link is in the description of the video. The link is also in the live chat. Actually, let me drop the link one more time. You guys can vote on it. Vote on this poll right here. Let's get some more votes up in here. How many people we got in here? 614 in the building. I have Love, Barkley, Gibbs, McLaurin, Waddle, Kincaid, Hunt, Downs, Worthy, Pearsall, DK, Otten. Try Hunt, Love, Downs for Kamara, Burrow. Try Hunt, Love, Downs. Yeah, of course I would do that, Mojave. That would be, I don't think you're going to get that. But that'd be a great move. D-Hop and Tillman for Nico. Give me Nico all day. Chase, Cooper, Higgins, Achane, Hunt, Tracy, Chubb, Kraft, Madison, Tillman, Stafford. I would like to make a trade. Thoughts? No one's trading for anybody but Achane. Maybe Hunt. Tracy's not going to be as much value this week as he would be if he has a big game. If you got to make a move, you unfortunately got to trade either Achane or Chase. I mean, you could try and trade Higgins and Hunt for like a Hill, Higgins and Hunt for a DK injured, Higgins and Hunt for a Nico, Higgins and Hunt for a Debo. I'd try all those things first, maybe. Then you got to either trade Chase for a Lamb and a player, or you got to trade Achane for Hall and a player. And that player has to be injured DK Metcalf capable. Mike Evans, injured, you get him because he's an injured player right now, capable. I'm trading Lamb for Bijan. I would take Bijan right now. He's getting workhorse volume. Running backs: Walker, Cook, Tracy, Irving. Guys, are we doing that? Can you vote on that one? Bijan or Lamb? I'm pretty sure the chat's going to say Lamb. Running backs are Walker, Cook, Tracy, Irving, Garendo, Lamb, BTJ, Pickens, Cooper. Trade ideas: I'd say, I don't know. This is tough. Your receivers you can't really sell right now. Pickens maybe. Pickens and Tracy for Hill, St. Brown, Lamb, Hall. Cook and Pickens for Hall and something. Matt, that's probably where my mind goes. $10 hauler from my boy Murph. Murph says Hurts, Kyron, Achane, Bucky, Bigsby, Garendo, Corum, Wright, Braylon, Cup, Neighbors, Worthy, Otten, Kincaid, Hawkinson. I think if you were to bank on Hawkinson here, you could maybe say, hey, let's go trade Hawkinson and maybe, I don't know. With this team, I'd probably say trade Otten straight up for a baller. Debo, DK, Nico, Walker, get a better flex play and bank on Kincaid and Hawkinson. And again, you get all of those Otten points, bro. I understand a lot of people don't want to make that kind of trade. They love Otten, and I love him too. He's fantastic. But if you want to make a trade, that is your open door to maybe do something and bank on the other tight ends that you got. That's just the avenue you have. If you don't want to make a trade, then I wouldn't trade Otten. Two of two, Monty, Kincaid for Tyreek. I'd probably say give me Tyreek if you need a wide receiver gamble. If you need an RB, I could argue Monty over Tyreek. So this is a dead even trade depending on what your desired outcome is. If you need a running back, the Monty side. If you need a receiver, the Hill side's fine. It's a gamble, but it's worth taking. Allen, Achane, Monty, Mason, Eckler, Brooks, Tyreek, Debo, Devontae, Waddle, Pittman. Worthy droppable. It depends. No, I can't. You guys, you can't just say is somebody droppable. It depends who you're picking up. Nor it depends who you're grabbing. There's definitely cases where he could be dropped, but who are you picking up? And everyone's going to say in general, he's droppable. Just drop him. Just cut him. But like, who are you picking up? That's what matters. Nothing else can be answered until I know that question. 4 and 5, 10 team. Allen, Achane, Monty, Mason, Tyreek, Debo. It's a good team. Waddle and Mason go to the Christian McCaffrey owner. Waddle and Mason for a slight wide receiver upgrade. Devontae Adams and Mason for a slight wide receiver upgrade. Mason and Monty for a slight running back upgrade. Past that, Rag, I'd probably leave that team alone. It's a great team. I feel stacked at wide receiver. JJ, Neighbors, Nico, Dell, Pickens, Hopkins, Deontay. My running back, I got Saquon and Kyron. Feel like I want a running back. I want running back cover. Feel like I want running back cover. Who can I go for? You mean like depth? Saquon and Kyron. JJ, Neighbors, Nico. Maybe Pickens or Hopkins for Walker. Hopkins could get you Walker right now. Maybe a Monty. Maybe a Jacobs. That's probably who I'd try to target. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddies. It was a good day. Worthy is asked to do other things the Chiefs weren't equipped for. Rice went down. Yeah, I mean, that's really what ended up happening. You know, it wasn't like Worthy. It's not like Worthy's garbage. When people say Worthy's garbage, it makes me kind of chuckle because he's not. He's a very talented player, but he's just out of his realm. Same thing with Keon Coleman. You know, with Cooper out there, he's a different player. Without Cooper, he's being asked to do too much. Yeah, it was disappointing. He had a touchdown. You can't make excuses for him. But do you cut him? I'm not cutting him just in general. I'm cutting him for somebody, you know, like Tillman or, you know, Mason gets cut or something like that. Keep Swift rest of season. It depends on the question, bro. It depends on what we're talking about. I mean, you can't answer that. A lot of these are blanket questions. You're wanting blanket answers, and we do need more information.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Just a couple brief phone calls. Yeah, I think, you know, you could liken the Worthy situation a little bit to the Dell situation. Just by, you know, a little bit of a comparison. Different times in the season. Worthy would just be a drop. I have extra spot. Hawkinson. Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that, but like I'm not. And if he gets cut, I can't necessarily just pick him up for sure in any league. Like it depends who I have to cut. But I think it's just not something where we can just say Worthy's a drop across the board. It just depends. How deep is your league, etc. Alex, you're live.
Smitty 4-0 this week, brother. 4-0. Hey, so I got D-Hop, picked him up. He had a good game. And Cup had a good game. So you think I should try and trade a little package for Cup and D-Hop for Nico? Because I got a guy here that wouldn't mind getting two receivers for one.
Cup and D-Hop for Nico. Cup and D-Hop.
I got Marvin. I don't know if you like Marvin, but...
If everybody could mute... If everybody on the phone line could mute, I got everybody on the phone line. There's a lot of people on the phone line. Please mute if you're not talking right now. Or please mute if you're not Alex. D-Hop and Cup for Nico. That's so tough, bro.
I also got Sun God. I mean, if you want me, I can give you.
No, I can't, bro. I can't do that. I got too many people.
No, I got you.
I think in general, in general, guys, vote if you want on that, please. In the chat, would you rather have D-Hop and Cup or Nico? I'm gonna say, give me. Are you starting Hopkins?
No, he was on my bench this week, and I got a crucial dub. I got Sun God, Marvin, Cup, D-Hop, Coleman.
I guess. Give me Cup and Hopkins. I don't care if you're not starting Hopkins. It gives you the depth you need if something happens. Buys are still kind of, you know, injuries can happen at any moment. And the honest truth is Cup and Nico are neck and neck anyway. Like, why give up a guy that we're ranking here? A lot of us are, at least, that he's a top 12 wide receiver. Give me Cup. Cup's amazing. Right, and if Cup was to go down, let's say, Hopkins can still hang with Nico, bro. I'm not saying he's better than him. I'm not saying I'd draft him today over him or anything like that. I'm just saying they can have cups of coffee together, and that to me tells me that's the better side.
Yeah, I mean, one more second. So
I got to go. Last thing, 10 seconds.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Thanks, Smitty.
All right. All right. Mac from San Francisco. Mac, you're live.
How's it going? Thanks for answering the call, Smitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have some glaring holes in my team right now. I do have a lot of depth. I was hoping maybe I can read you
20
my
seconds.
roster real quick.
Do what you can in 20 seconds.
20 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, shit. Oh, crap. So I have Breece Hall, Josh Jacobs, and CMC coming back. Drake London, T. Higgins, JSN, and Hopkins. And I have Pat Mahomes and Mark Andrews at my tight end.
I can't remember all
Who do I
that.
trade for?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Out of Hopkins, T. Higgins, and Josh Jacobs, and JSN, what tight end do I target?
Tight end?
Do I need to upgrade from Pat Mahomes? Yeah, I have Mark Andrews currently.
I don't know. Mark Andrews is pretty decent, bro. And Mahomes just went nuts, so I'm not trying to get rid of Mahomes right now. He just obviously could have a 4-touchdown game with ease. He looked fantastic tonight. Hopkins and him are in a groove. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm fine with that. That trade's good. I mean, JSN, again, I'm not trying to say he's going to pull a Juwan Jennings. He did one good game and then never do anything. He's good. He's very good. But, like, DK's coming back. It's not going to be exactly the same thing each week. I like him a lot, but Otten's clearly on the same level at the tight end perspective as JSN could be if he was to continue. That's a fantastic move. I think Laporta's one of the cheapest go-get players, though. He's getting cut in leagues, bro. And I know that a lot of people don't trust him. And I'm not saying that I know exactly when or how or if or whatever in terms of him bouncing back at all. I know he's been banged up all year. Maybe he remains banged up all year. Maybe that's the problem. And I understand that. But Laporta also had 2 touchdowns the week prior to this week. One got called back, and he looked back. And I still really, really love the gamble that is the Sam Laporta. And if that means I don't have to give up a Hopkins and I can keep starting a Hopkins, or if I don't have to give up a JSN and I can keep starting JSN, I'd rather go after the cheaper Laporta. But that's me.
The Laporta guy has Chuba Hubbard. Should I give him Brooks and Mark Andrews for Laporta?
Yes.
All right, sweet. Appreciate it.
All right, later, bro. Jay, you're live, Jay.
Hey, Smitty. Quick question for you. Where do you have Devontae and Tyreek for your rest of season wide receiver ranking?
All over the place, depending on the wind. What's the temperature? I don't know. I would say Tyreek and who? Who is it again? Tyreek and who? Devontae Smith. They're not top 5 wide receivers or anything.
Sorry.
Devontae Adams. I'd probably say Adams is well outside of my wide receiver ones. Hopkins over him. A lot of other players over him. I like Adams, but I just don't know how consistent he'll be. If anybody feels like Aaron Rodgers is going to be throwing 2 and 3 TD games every game, I don't know. I just doesn't feel like I feel like it's going to be like this. And God, something happens to A-Rod, what happens then? So I think he's definitely not a wide receiver 1 to me. Hill has the capability of that, but you can easily buy him lower. I'm not selling Hill for low wide receiver 2 value, but I'd certainly buy him at like a low wide receiver 2 value, maybe even high wide receiver 3 value. But is one of them capable of being a top 5 to 10 wide receiver? Sure. Tyreek Hill. But why is Tyreek Hill not bounced back fully with Tua? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And it's not like he's even... Bro, he's impossible to contain and guard. And he's still quick. You can see it. What are they doing? This guy could catch a football with nobody around him. Like he could literally create his own space by 10, 12 yards. And they're just not used. I don't understand. Maybe he's injured and we don't know it though. You know, like there could be something going on. He's also doing way too at his age of 47 years old, whatever the hell he is. He's doing too much off-season crap. He's out there running with high school kids every other weekend doing DB work and putting his knees and mileage on his legs that's completely unnecessary. Maybe that did him in. I don't know. Maybe he had another year left, but he screwed himself by all this crazy social media, defensive back, wide receiver camp BS that he shouldn't have been delving into. I don't know. But I'm willing to take the gamble in 1 or 2 leagues out of, let's say, 10 or 12. So 10%, 15% of leagues, not more than that, to go get a Tyreek Hill in the assumption that he's a top 5 wide receiver. But he cannot be ranked there.
That makes sense. Thanks, Smitty.
All right, later, bro. Diamond from AZ, you're live.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up?
I did the super chat earlier. I'm just kind of trying to figure out exactly who I should trade for, just like kind of getting your ideas for it. The Kareem Hunt owner has CeeDee Lamb, and you said I should go after him. Would you go Pacheco and like any of the guys like Zay Flowers, Tank Dell, Ramondre, all of them for, not all of them obviously, but like a 2-for-1 for CD and DeAndre Hopkins as well? Is CD that worth?
I think like the Tyreek Hill situation, but Tyreek Hill's worth less than CD because CD's done it. Tyreek Hill's done nothing all year. Like there's a lot more risk there. But I'd rather have CD Lamb than Hopkins. Let's not put the cart before the horse or get ahead of our skis and just say, oh yeah, like Hopkins above Lamb now of one game. I'd rather have Nico than Lamb. I'd rather have Debo than Lamb, probably. I know some might disagree with that one, but with Ayuk out of the way, I think people are not just completely, I think, attached to the fact that he got hurt and they're upset at him. And I don't know, it's weird that people aren't feeling the Debo upside. Hopkins is fantastic. Flowers, I'd probably trade. Look, I love what Flowers did. And I love what he's been doing, and he's definitely been consistent. But would I rather have Lamb over Flowers? Yes, I would. So I would do that trade.
That owner wants Flowers and Hopkins, so would that be like the 2-for-1 like worth it in your mind?
I don't think I would be doing both of them, but I would definitely trade Pacheco because of the cloudy situation and Flowers for Lamb.
Pacheco and Flowers.
I wouldn't. I don't know. I'd try and do Flowers and Pacheco for Lamb.
Okay.
And I just if he doesn't like it, walk away and he'll return. You don't need to keep negotiating, in my opinion. I think you'll get it.
But I think I can pull that off. Yeah. Appreciate you, Smitty.
All right, later, bro. Travis, you're live.
One question I said that was interesting. Would you trade Gibbs for Kyrie?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. And
you
might have mentioned this earlier. You still have Lamb over Amon-Ra, even with the injury?
No. I think I'd have Amon-Ra over Lamb right now. I think like Jamar Chase, JJ, Amon-Ra. I think I'd rather go that direction right now. Just because you have the Lamb AC joint, you have the Dak Prescott out multiple weeks, you have the Dallas debacle, you have how good is Rush going to be? What if they change quarterbacks again? You know, Trey, whatever. How's it all going to shake out? I just think St. Brown could score, 7 touchdowns in the next 7 games. Whereas Lamb, we're going to be like, I just want him to get a touchdown every once in a while in this situation. So to me, that answers my own question. I'm going St. Brown.
Okay, and just one more real quick. Bijan, rest of the season, you confident in just sitting in that top 5 running back range rest of the season? I think they're actually, going to use them correctly now.
Bijan feels like he's getting top 5 running back volume, and God, if he just got a touchdown,
right.
I mean, he would have been everybody's like, oh my God, he's back. It's frustrating that it's not like Algier shouldn't be used. They need to give both of them carries. It's just at the certain points in, like, Bijan will rip off these big long runs, get down to the 8-yard line, they pull him out and put in Algier, and it's like, it's just the plays they give Algier are frustrating. It's not that he shouldn't get carries, but at the same time, Bijan scored. Yeah, 20, as Togo just said in the chat, this is what we've been saying all week, or all the past couple of days. He scored 20-plus points without scoring a single touchdown. And also on top of that, keeping in mind he scored 2 TDs the week prior. Like, he's getting touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And so, and then he...
It seems like they're using him better, at least, if not.
For sure. For sure. And just watching him, he just looks phenomenal. He's so smooth.
Yeah. All right, yeah, so top five, easy top five.
Yeah, probably top five. I mean, looking at my thefantasyfootballshow.com rankings, where all of you can find your rankings, bold predictions, trade calculator, etc., etc., etc. Kyren Williams and Henry and Barkley are probably the top three consensus running backs across the board. Then it gets a little dicey where you're like, not in a bad way, you're just like, is it Gibbs? Is Brees still up there for you? Is it Bijan? Is it Mixon? Is it Achane? I mean, there's a handful of very, very close RBs that really put it into the top, 4 to 8. That Bijan, Mixon, Achane, Brees Hall, and Gibbs all kind of like are fighting for in those 5 spots. Like who's 1, who's 5 of those guys with Kyren, Barkley, and Henry above. I mean, that's really it. No one can say Mixon's absolutely 4 or not 5, or no one can say Bijan going forward can't be 4. He has to be 8. Achane's easily in the argument too. Like every single one of Gibbs, Hall, Achane, Mixon, and Bijan. And even JT had another good game and there isn't turmoil surrounding him, and then maybe got injured his ankle again. They're not even reporting on that. We saw it. I know he got banged up. It's hard to say like if JT will get in that mix, but there's just no way to quantify or cement in the running backs 5 through 8.
Just real quick. Go
and
back
Kamara too.
One guy might have a chance, and it might be tough because he's starting to get more hype. But one guy you might be able to get in a deal for Hunt is Chase Brown, because people, really buy into the situation and might not know Chase Brown quite as much, and might look back at his earlier year stats and say, maybe we'll keep it up or whatever. So that's just another one I thought of that you can kind of poke around at if you like.
Which one?
Hunt. If you use Hunt to get into a deal with Chase Brown,
to get
might involve other players too.
Yeah, maybe people will do that. It's hard to say, but yeah, that's definitely a player that you could maybe go get. Kareem Hunt for Tyrone Tracy feels like the safest, highest upside player I can come up with going down running back rankings. Chase Brown and Tyrone Tracy. Those feel like the two most feasible, and like Travis said, you might have to give up somebody. Maybe James Cook fell all the way from like 8, 9, 10 down to Kareem Hunt. You don't know. People are freaking out about James Cook. I'm getting some weird James Cook questions.
That's a good one too.
There's concern, but I don't know. All right, later, Travis. Appreciate you.
See you. Bye.
All right. Phone lines are officially deuces for the night. Appreciate everybody that dialed in. Shelly with the $10 hauler, 9-0. Congrats. Hurts, AJB, CD. You're doing this with AJB injured, CD not fully himself, injured, losing his quarterback. Kyren, Walker playing bad. Laporta not stepping up fully. Tracy, it's a good team. Worried about wide receivers not wanting to trade either. Thoughts. Also, think T is getting traded. He might get traded. T could get traded. Where he goes is going to, I don't know that he's going to go to a better place. Joe Burrow's a gunslinger. I think your team's really good. I'd explore, and maybe T. Higgins gets traded, and then you can make a trade off of that. But BT, T. Higgins, Walker for one better player. Brees Hall, you already got CD, so Hill or Brees Hall maybe. Tracy, I like to keep him, but maybe you have to trade a running back, and you don't want to trade Walker, and I don't really want to trade Walker, so I would say like Tracy and T, Tracy and BT, Brooks, T. Higgins, and BT, all three of those bench players for one Tyreek Hill, one. You're not going to get Kamara, you're not going to get. I don't know, a wide receiver. It's like Tyreek Hill. It's injured DK Metcalf. It's Mike Evans might be a thought for you to trade like a T and Brooks for Mike Evans, and somebody can't wait on him. I think Mike Evans would be a good target for your squad and situation. This one here from Chris. Thank you for the $10. Chat didn't vote. Lamb for Bijan. Smitty, who we rocking with? Chat, can we get a vote for Chris here, please? At least 10 votes for Chris. Lamb for Bijan. I'm going to go Bijan. Chat, please vote. Lamb or Bijan for our boy Chris. He needs our help. Burrow, Mayfield, Brees, Walker, Chase Brown, Brooks, Kupp, Debo, Flowers, JSN, Kelsey, Ingram. Get rid of one of the tight ends with either JSN or Flowers. With Brooks, without Brooks, doesn't matter. Or with Walker, without Walker, and just see about getting some massive monster into this lineup. Lamb comes to mind in terms of a JSN and Ingram or JSN. I mean, honestly, I'd probably rather get rid of Ingram than Kelsey, but Kelsey might get you more off this game. Kelsey and Chase Brown or Kelsey and Walker should land you a monster. Now, you have Breece Hall already. He's the best running back target, but maybe Gibbs is seemingly a very good buy low for whatever reason. There's a lot of Gibbs hate right now. I don't know why. Volume, 40 to 50% of the workload, scaring people when they hear maybe another content creator spit out numbers about how his target share should be worrisome. The touchdowns won't always be there when he's got 3 TDs in the last 2 games. And he's ultra efficient. Also, keep in mind that when Gibbs rips off a big long touchdown, he's going to get less attempts because he only needed 1 carry to take it the distance. There's a lot of factors that go into usage and success of the drive that Gibbs is partaking in. Like, come on. We're really going to talk about Gibbs being a risk. Gibbs is the best go-get running back. Probably. You'll find it on the buy low list tomorrow. We're going after Lamb. We're going after Gibbs. We're going after Breece Hall. And for whatever reason, Gibbs is a buy low, and he shouldn't be. And it's wild to me. So I'm going to say go get Gibbs. I'm going to say take Chase Brown and Flowers and go get Gibbs and maybe even get something else. That would probably be where my mind would go with your squad. Baker, DeMarcus Robinson for Kupp. I have CJ. I would definitely rather have Cooper Kupp by a country mile. Big Mac, appreciate you with the $10 wad. I just got offered T. Higgins for Kareem Hunt, and I have Barkley, JT. I don't hate this trade because eventually Hunt's going to lose value, but I think I just search for a different player because Higgins has been banged up. He's always banged up, and who knows where he's going to go, what's going on with that situation. I'd rather just keep Hunt, try and shop him in a 2 for you get 1 player using your 2, and Hunt getting you something a little bit better. Go to the Pacheco owner. JD5 and Tracy for James Conner and D-Hop. I assume you don't need JD5, Greg, so I'm going to say I understand this trade, and it does make some sense if, let's say, you've got a Mahomes or somebody at least as capable of as JD5, maybe Hurts, something like that. I think I would probably say Hopkins feels like he's as good as Tracy, if not maybe better. And James Conner is a running back. JD5 is a rotation for you. So it makes some sense to do that trade. Assuming you have a good QB. Wild day. Wild day. And look at this vote right here. 65.8% of you think that DeAndre Hopkins is a top 12 wide receiver. And I am one of those people. And we appreciate your super chat. 4 and 4 PPR thoughts on a trade. Kyron, Bigsby, Chase Brown, Kupp, London, Lamb, Dell, Reed, Collins, JD, Josh Downs, Stafford, Stroud. Okay. Kraft on waivers, Davis, Rico, DeMarcado, and Trey. Kyron and Bigsby. Okay, so I'd probably say Kupp, London, Lamb. I'm probably using, you got Nico too. So Nico, Kupp, London, Lamb are your receivers. You've got Reed and Dell to work with here. Probably bank on Stroud unless you can get Mahomes cheaply, by like throwing in a, I don't know, like one of the tight ends or something like that, or Rico Dowdle, like something like that. Otherwise, I think I bank on Stroud coming back, especially not that it matters. Stacking doesn't get you any points, but like you have Nico and you kind of bank on that offense, I think. But Reed and Dell with Chase Brown, Reed and Dell with Bigsby, you probably have to wait till this week's over if your trade deadline doesn't come and go. I think like a Chase Brown and a Reed could get you. I mean, you shoot for the moon. You shoot for Gibbs because of the doubt that I'm seeing. I mean, the Gibbs doubt's real. It's weird. It's hey, Monty's got more volume. I'm really worried about Gibbs. If he didn't get that touchdown, woulda, coulda, shoulda. If he didn't, whatever. I think that's attainable. And even JT, who we talk about being a big risk, we talked about it last night, he's still a good buy. You can be both. So JT's a good potential buy. Now, Chase Brown, we got to be careful not to not give Chase Brown enough credit to say, could Chase Brown be better than JT going forward? Like if JT can't stay healthy, mainly because of stuff like that. I mean, yeah. I mean, is Bijan, because he doesn't score touchdowns or hasn't been consistent, can you get him using Chase Brown and Reed? Reed at 100 yards? I think you got to be careful what running back you accept, but I think Breece Hall, Gibbs, Bijan, and JT and Kamara are in the conversation here for many reasons. And it's not like you're not selling guys that they did well as well. Like if you say, well, no one's going to sell Kamara off a big yardage game, well, you could say you're trying to sell Chase Brown and Reed off of 2 monster 100-yard games for each of them. But I think that's where I'm headed. And because you need an RB, you kind of have to go that route because you're getting rid of Chase Brown. Now, if you didn't get rid of Chase Brown and you just said, let's sell Dell and Reed together, who could you get for Dell and Reed? Debo, bye week free. Neighbors. AJB injured. Puka Nacua. Tyreek Hill. Jamar Chase, try it because he didn't have a big game. Because his quarterback had 5 TDs and he didn't have one of them. Who knows? Okay. Double A, appreciate you. I have Hurts, Dowdle, Kenneth Walker, Tracy, Warren, Wright, Mason, Terry, Lamb, Pickens, Mooney, Hopkins, 12-man PPR, tied for third, want to improve. Kenneth Walker, Tracy. Tough to say, bro, because you can't trade Lamb low. You can maybe trade Terry high. I don't know. Hopkins is great. You're probably getting rid of either Terry or Pickens with Tracy for a Breece Hall, for a Gibbs, for a JT, double A. That's the only thing you can really cook up here, unless you're going to trade like Walker and Pickens to get Gibbs and something, which actually I like that too. I like Tracy a lot, but would I rather give up Tracy? Yeah, Mason, same thing, but I don't know that he has any trade value right now. But if you go to the Christian McCaffrey owner, maybe you can upgrade Kenneth Walker slightly, or maybe you can go upgrade Pickens slightly using, Mason as a throw-in, and you say, hey, well, what about if I gave you, Mooney as well or something, and you get some bigger player? I don't know. That's probably where I would take that, but it's you got a good team. I think your trade value is in Mason, Tracy, Mooney, Pickens, and Scary Terry at the last resort. But I'd try and keep him out of it. Keep him out of it, my broski. Anyone see my super chat? Think I should pick up anyone from the waivers? We'll pull up our super chat again real quickly and just throw it on here. But I think it depends who's available. Your your drops are, you can't really drop anybody. Davis, Rico. I assume that's not Trey McBride. I'm just assuming. Davis is solid, but I mean, who do you drop? Downs? I mean, I don't think you can. Bigsby? I mean, maybe Davis over Bigsby for now, but like next week that could change back, and then you're regretting dropping Bigsby, and he's the starter, and hard to say. Yeah, your team's good. Hopkins, appreciate you all. I'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's the Buy Low Show. 529 of you in here. Some of you have not subscribed yet. Some of you have not slapped that like button on the way out the door. So please do both if you can. We'll be back tomorrow for the Buy Low Show. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you to all my super chatters. This one here is for Kyron, who continues to score touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. This is my boy, Blue.
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
A-Chan. A-Chan is the man. His haters call him small,
but he is 9 feet tall.
A-Chan is the man. Once upon a time, Trey McBride saw two quarterbacks cross streams.
There are 2 5s?
They're gonna cross streams.
He worked effortlessly trying to accomplish this feat on his own. Then, one day, he crossed his 4th and 5th round average draft position. And then, this occurred. Get McBride.
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Time zone change, but we're still here at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. Also, additionally, I'm live whenever news breaks and live after any game or any slate of games. So after the Sunday and Monday slate games are over, we come in here after the late Sunday games and we talk up everything that happened. And then when the Sunday night game kicks off, we leave. And then I come back after the Sunday game. I come back after the Thursday game. I come back after the Monday night game. We go live whenever news breaks and whenever games end. Appreciate you all. Perps in the building. Perps, appreciate seeing you, pal. I'll see you all tomorrow.